The Mets offseason plan could be right in front of our faces the entire time. I don't know if there's a ton of players the Mets could acquire right now that would satisfy Mets fans after losing Pete Alonso, Edwin Diaz, Brandon Nimmo, and the core from 2019. But what the Mets could do and what David Stearns could do is acquire a bunch of players that will round out this team to be a better team moving forward. I'm going to give you guys in this video 2 players that have been right in front of the Mets fans' faces this entire offseason. Whether they wind up with them or not, that's a completely different story. But these 2 pieces, according to Mark Feinstein, take it for what it's worth. It's not Jeff Passons. It's not John Heyman. These 2 players have been linked to the Mets the most since the free agency period began. If you guys like this kind of Met content, I have Giants content. I have Knicks content. Wrestling soon enough. We're going to be diving into all that. Mets content, share, like, subscribe. This video, let me know who do you guys think the Mets are going to sign and if you agree with these 2 players that I'm going to mention. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get into Mark Feinstein's report, and we're just going to look at the 2 players, and those 2 players are Cody Bellinger and Framber Valdez. These 2 guys have been linked to the New York Mets all offseason long. Valdez very early on, Bellinger midway through last season. Now, again, I think Bellinger winds up back with the Yankees. I'll preface this by saying that I do think Cody Bellinger winds up back with the Yankees because I don't think his market is turning out to what it seems to be. Especially a lot of these guys, their market is just not panning out to what they think. Kyle Tucker, Valdez, who we're going to get into, Cody Bellinger. So this is the report on Cody Bellinger as of tonight. Cody Bellinger was a strong fit for the 2025 Yankees. A reunion between the Tides make too much sense not to happen. I completely agree with that. Like Bichette, Bellinger still a free agent with no indication that a deal with New York or any club is imminent. That's the key here. And if you're the Yankees, that has to be working in your favor. But if you're the Mets and you have a chance to swoop in and grab a player like Cody Bellinger, this could be good. And this could be a little ominous for the Yankees. But I do think he winds up. The Yankees are holding firm to their price, which they should. Not bidding, don't want to get bid against themselves, which they should. Very smart by the Yankees. Most believe the 2 sides will ultimately find common ground. If they don't, Yankees could turn to Jason Dominguez or Spencer Jones to fill that void. Did Cody Bellinger benefit from having Aaron Judge next to him? 1,000%. Just going over a few of Cody Bellinger's stats from last year: 272, 29 homers, 98 RBIs, stole 13 bags, slugged 480, OPS at 813, which is okay. It's not great, it's not bad, but it's right there. Cody Bellinger got off to one of the hottest starts you could ever get off to in his first 3 seasons with the Dodgers, winning an MVP in that year, a 2-time All-Star. The only All-Star appearances he made in his career, 2017, 2019, 2020 with the Dodgers, 56 games out of the 60 that they played that season with the COVID-shortened season. And then in 21, Cody Bellinger just started to kind of take a little dip, right? He goes to 165, 302 slug, 542, horrible OPS. The following year hits 210 with the Dodgers, and that was it for them. They cut bait. He went to Chicago 2023, kind of started to revise his career a little bit, had a very good year, hit 307, 26 homers, 97 RBIs, 881 OPS, very good bounce back from where he was the previous 2 seasons. Then in 2024 with the Cubs, he went back down to 266, 751 OPS, not very good. And then with the Yankees last year, 813 OPS, hitting next to Aaron Judge, definitely benefited him tremendously. What Cody Bellinger definitely brings you is very, very good defense. He could play all 3 outfield positions. He could play first base if you need him to play first base. The Mets, as a Mets fan, I saw him at Citi Field single-handedly win the Yankees a game at Citi Field. That's how good of a player Cody Bellinger is on an all-around basis. He will have Juan Soto hitting next to him. He'll have Francisco Lindor hitting next to him. He'll have other players around him if the Mets somehow wind up with him. This is a guy in Cody Bellinger where I would prefer a Kyle Tucker over Bellinger, but if the Mets go out and get a versatile bat like Bellinger defensively as well, that goes to the run prevention that David Stearns has been talking about, and getting him on this team would definitely benefit the New York Mets. Now we come to the next player, which is Framber Valdez. And as you guys have seen, Mets have been amongst teams most often connected to Bellinger. Okay, that's something you guys got to keep in mind as well. The Mets want Bellinger, but they want him at their price. Framber Valdez, the Orioles and the Mets have been the two clubs most often connected to Valdez, which makes perfect sense given that the top baseball executives need the left-hander, 32-year-old left-hander. Houston's son, this is a big key here for Framber Valdez. So if you guys read this, Mets president of baseball operations David Stearns was the Astros assistant general manager at the time when Valdez signed in 2015. That is a big thing there. It's a little familiarity. Baltimore has already added Shane Bays from the Rays, and they re-signed Zach Eflin, but they do need a frontline starter. They just gave Pete Alonso $155 million. They've been very active, but this is a guy in Framber Valdez that, if acquired by the New York Mets, what you're getting with him is a frontline guy. I think he's more of a number 2 starter than an ace, but the Mets need pitching, right? And getting a guy like Valdez, Mets fans can't complain about this. Looking at the game started, I mean, last year, 13-11, 3.66 ERA, 31. The biggest thing for me, 31 games started, 192 innings pitched. That's what I care about the most. And if you look at his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons, has been the epitome of consistency. Started first in 2021, 22 starts, 134 innings was his longest at that time. Then he goes to 201, 198, 176, 192 innings pitched. And this guy he's a 2-time All-Star with the Houston Astros, pitched in big games with the Houston Astros, a World Series champion with the Houston Astros. These are the kind of guys that I want to add to the Mets pitching rotation. I would love to land a guy like Framber Valdez on this team. And then what the Mets are also getting here is the biggest thing is you're taking a guy in Valdez, inserting him into a Met rotation that I just don't think is that far off from being a very good rotation, okay? You add a Valdez, you get McClain coming back, you get Clay Holmes in year 2, which he's going to be very improved. Sean Manaea will be fully healthy coming into the season. You have David Peterson coming off of an all-star season. He kind of fell down towards the end. The entire team fell down. You got a returning Christian Scott. You have a Kodai Senga who could be an ace when healthy. You have the means, if you have the guys that could get you the top of the rotation, guys like Framber Valdez. He's a guy that could set this rotation for the better. I don't think the Mets need to add an ace immediately. I think the ace could come at the trade deadline. The ace could come, midway through the baseball season. We don't got to do everything right away. You add a number 2 in Valdez. You add a number 2 in another pitcher like a Freddie Peralta. You can get things moving forward with that current rotation. As scarred as Mets fans might be with some of these guys, it's not that bad of a rotation when you think about it. All right, it's not. So the Mets right now are in a very peculiar spot because the market is just not shaping up anymore. The market's not moving the way that a lot of these free agents thought it would move. Does that open the door for other players to be involved with the Mets? Yeah, of course it does. Like Tucker's market came down. I think Bellinger's market's come down. Valdez's market's come down. You saw Michael King's market come down. You saw the Japanese players, their markets came down. Bo Bichette, and you got Alex Bregman still out there. I mean, Zach Eflin. You got a lot of these guys that all believe they were going to get these monster contracts, and it turns out they're not getting them. They're just not getting them. When you get this deep into free agency with Cody Bellinger and with Kyle Tucker, you're not getting these guys signing these big monster 10-year deals. Those deals seem to happen, late November, in December. Those kind of deals happen. They start at the winter meetings. But I think the Yankees ultimately do wind up with Cody Bellinger. Would I be shocked if the Mets wind up with Bellinger? Absolutely not. Would I be shocked if they wind up with Framber Valdez on their kind of deal? What do the contracts look like if you're the New York Mets? For me, Framber Valdez coming into his age 32 season, I would give him a 4-year deal for $120 million. That's $30 million per season. I think that is way more than fair value. Dylan Cease got $30 million a year, and I think Valdez is just a better pitcher, but I also think the Blue Jays really overpaid for Dylan Cease. I think 4 years at $30 million per is a very fair deal for Framber Valdez. You get him till his age 35 season, and then you let him go after that when pitchers start to break down. That is a fair deal for both sides. Bellinger, on the other hand, I'm looking at no more. I wouldn't go more than 4 years. I know it might take 5 to 6. I would be very hesitant to go past 5. But if I were to meet him, if I were to meet in the middle, I'm giving 4. They're probably asking for 6. If we can meet in the middle, I could settle at 5. But I'm going to settle at 5 for my price. At 4, I'm going to give you a higher AAV. At 5, I'm going to lower that, and you're going to get them at my price, my total price. Not so much AAV, but that total price has got to come down because I don't want to go more than 4 years for Cody Bellinger. I think 4 for Valdez, 4 for Bellinger would be ideal for the New York Mets. If you guys got this far, share, like, and subscribe this video. Who do you guys think the New York Mets are going to acquire? They're going to get somebody. Do you want Cody Bellinger? Do you want Framber Valdez? Who else do you want on this team? Thank you guys for watching. Until the next one.